So we've been talking so far about making diagram windows. Diagram windows are these bases for this nice GUI graphical user interface between a user and an ease program. And sort of the last step then would be to turn that ease program with the diagram window into what's called a distributable. And the idea behind a distributable is now you can deploy this program as a piece of software to people who don't have access to ease. They have no license of ease, but this is now an executable that they can use completely independently of ease. So here's an example that we'll use as the basis for this discussion. This is the outcome of exercise 3 of our uh, diagram window course. So this is an SCO2 power cycle, supercritical CO2 power cycle, that you can switch between two different architectures, so recompression or partial cooling. And when you calculate the cycle and simulate it, it will update this figure over here, that's the schematic, and it'll update the TS diagram. All right, so the other thing I did here was I did add, you can see down here, a load inputs button and a save inputs button here. This is a save inputs button. And I did that because now users can save information about a set of variables that they have for their distributable for their simulation and then load them back later. So if they have case studies or operating conditions or something like that, they can save those and load those here if they want to. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put all this information, all this stuff that I need for a distributable in one folder, which I called Distributable. So you can see the folder is has my ease file in it now. It's also got two var files that I saved using the save button here. If I want to load them back, I can just click here, load, and load up my variables for the partial cooling cycle. So that's kind of how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make a distributable. So to do that, you go to File and you click Make Distributable. This will only be available in the professional version of Ease. It's not a commercial feature. But if you have it, it'll bring up this distributable program setup dialog. And this is where you set up everything that is pertaining to the standalone distributable program. So first, right at the top, what do you want to call it? So by default, it'll just take the ease file and replace EES with EXE. And then here you have this splash screen that comes up every time somebody opens up your distributable. So you can change this however you want to change it. And maybe put some information here about yourself or who developed the program. Down here, you've got three different boxes you can check or not. One is you can zip all of the files that are created up into a zip file for distribution. Here you can force US settings for numbers instead of EU settings. And then here, if you want to, you can actually password protect the distributable. It's up to you. All distributables expire. The longest that they can last is a year. But you can make them expire sooner if you want by adjusting this date. And then here you can put some information that will come up when it's expired, probably directing the user back to you to give them an updated version of the distributable. There's a startup message here that you can monkey with. So you may want to put your own message here that has some information about how the program was developed and other things like that. And finally, these two buttons allow you to save all of this information so you don't have to enter it every time you make this distributable. So usually every distributable will have what's called an MDI file that goes along with it that just lets you make the distributable again very easily. You don't have to enter sort of this tedious stuff and then load it up when you're ready to go. If you go to the next tab, you can control what's accessible. So there's a version of this tab for every one of the ease files in your distributable. Our distributable is only going to have this one ease file, but if I wanted to, I could add more and more and more of these. And then you would select between them in the distributable itself. So that's a possibility. Here I have file 1, and that's it. And then this is all the stuff that you can either let your users access or not, right? So most of the time, you probably don't want them monkeying around with almost anything except for the diagram window like that. So I'll hit OK, and then we'll go back here and hit OK, and it'll start the process of making the distributable. And just to be clear, you have to include all libraries that your ease program uses. So this ease program uses the component library and the heat transfer library, which means those have to be packaged up and put with it. If there's anything else that you need to include, you would hit the include button to make sure that that goes in there as well. And you hit OK and wait a little bit while it writes all this stuff. And when it's done, if you go look in the folder, you'll see that I have not only my ease file, but now also the distributable, the executable, as well as a user lib where all of the libraries that are needed were also stored. So if you're going to deploy this stuff, you have to deploy all of these files, or at least all of these files except for the ease file. So you would zip this stuff up and send this off to your user. The zip option sort of does that for you automatically. But once that's done, then whether I have ease or not, I can click on this executable, and up will come, first of all, the startup message that you entered. So we didn't change ours, but you can see. So you can see this is the text that could be changed based on sort of what you want to do here. You hit OK. This is the startup menu info that we also didn't change, but we could change this here as well. And you hit OK. And up will come that diagram window, and now users can interact with your program, right? They can't go to see plots or the equations window or anything like that, but it becomes kind of a standalone piece of hardware or software that somebody can use. All right, so that's sort of the culmination of the diagram window experience or course. Is at the end of it all, you probably want to build these distributables and send them out to people who might be interested in using them.